Invite. Well, we want to welcome everybody to today's conversation. We're going to be talking about alignment and clarity. And I want to introduce to you one of my favorite clients. I think all of my clients get that label though. So y'all can't, you know how they say with children, they try to kind of rag the one who they think is the favorite. I have three children, Jasmine, and they swear that my son is my favorite. I have a different relationship with all of them though. So I have my favorite aspects of them all. And I'm the same way with my clients. I have my favorite aspects of them all. And I can say that working with you was truly a pleasure. But I want you to introduce yourself. I want you to tell everybody what it is that you do. And then, just give them a little insight information. Be nice and kind. Give them a little insight information when it comes to what you received when you were working with me as it pertains to alignment and clarity.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for just taking the time out to talk with me. And I do appreciate our friendship and our relationship. What I do, first of all, my name's Jasmine. And I am a full-time entrepreneur, full-time social media marketing manager for Spookieloos Consulting. And I've been doing this for about 5 years now. And it has been definitely a roller coaster, but a fun, scary one at times, but fun, enlightening. And it's become even more enlightening since talking with you and working with you, Danica. So I'm super excited, to dive in and kind of just share, my story with other people.
Well, I'm so excited. I'm super excited to hear you say full-time entrepreneur, because that was not a label that you gave yourself when we first started working together.
No, I was like, just doing this part-time, but it's for real now. It's happening. So I gotta keep saying it over and over to make myself believe it. So it's here.
So talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about what made you take that big leap to align yourself with the higher aspect of yourself and step into full-time entrepreneurship.
Well, I was kind of forced, honestly, right this year.
Talk about it.
My goal was to become full-time in social media management next year. That was the plan. That was the goal. I, had set out, my budget and what I would need, to, be able to live off of this. But COVID and shutting down and getting laid off from my full-time job forced me, honestly, to shift gears and put all of my effort, all of my time, and all of my focus in my actual business. And it's something that I've been doing, on the side here and there, but it's happening full-time now. I'm in it every day. And I've even brought on an intern and a graphic designer. So it's for real. For real. Hey,
Vanetta Michelle.
Hey,
and you are in it to win it. And that's the thing, I talk about this all the time. Life has a way of shifting you. And, this year, 2020, is all about clear vision. It's all about seeing clearly, seeing your purpose clearly, seeing your life clearly, seeing your desires clearly. And one of the things that I find, and Vanetta is on here, joined us. And one of the things that I find often when I work with clients and I ask them, what do they want? What brings you joy? What lights you up? They cannot answer that question. And Vanetta, we had our chit chat a couple of weeks ago and she talked about that. She said, when I asked the question, what brings you joy? And she couldn't answer it. For her, it was like, no, it's not even an option for me not to be able to answer something this simple. I need to figure this out. And, when we were working together, Jazz, I already saw you as a full-time entrepreneur, honey. And what's so beautiful is we had even started to lay out that plan. And so, when we talk about clarity, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people hesitate to make moves because they're not clear about what they should be doing. So I want you to talk a little bit about how important clarity was for you. You said you kind of were forced, but I don't believe that anything happens by coincidence. I think everything is divine design.
Right.
Hey, Gamby. So I want you to talk a little bit about, how important clarity is in making major moves in your life and major life decisions?
Well, for me this year, clarity was extremely important because for me, especially running a business, that's completely new to me. And it's not something that was instilled in me growing up. It just kind of developed and happened over time. So I'm learning as I'm going, figuring things out as I'm going. And sometimes I don't know everything. I don't know the way, to run a business, or I don't know the way to, network or reach out to people to let them know that I need help. And so gaining clarity, from talking, to you about what exactly I want in life helped me figure out, okay, I know I need flexibility with my career. I know I need to be able to work from wherever because I've done the corporate thing. I've worked in the offices. I've done all that. I feel like I paid my dues. I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm just like, Lord, this is not for me. I know what I'm good at. I'm really good at, telling stories and, helping people with branding, helping people, be more creative. And that's something that I'm very passionate about. And that's something that I wanted to translate in my career. So gaining an understanding on that and being clear on exactly how I wanted to live my life, that is what, in a sense, helped me propel and really sit down and commit to running this business and just being headstrong about it and not letting anything, knock me out or knock me over.
That's beautiful. And something you said, I really want to expound on a little bit. You said, I don't know everything. I'm figuring it out as I go along.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what life is.
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing this business for, I said it out loud to someone the other day, 30 years. I was like, oh, Lord, I've been saying 20 something. When I say 30, it's like, girl, you're getting up there. But there's stuff that I learn still every single day. And I think when you're open to figuring things out, it's like, even if I don't know right now, but my desire is for this. Your
Mm-hmm.
desire was to be a full-time entrepreneur. I got into entrepreneurship, I say by default, but yet by design.
Mm-hmm.
Because my father always said when we were growing up, he did what he did. And my father was a full-time entrepreneur. And he often said, I do what I do so my children don't ever have to work for anybody. Now, he had an underlying ulterior motive because what he really wanted was his children to work for him. But I took that confession and that declaration very seriously, and it was like, I ain't working for nobody, including you, right? And so I've been in the game a long time. I became an entrepreneur when I was 22 years old. But you have to be open to figuring things out, and I really believe that this year has shown us, in your face and don't you forget it kind of way,
Yeah.
that life has. I don't think nobody living. Hey, Drea, nobody living will forget 2020, right?
No,
And it's like, listen,
not at all.
things happen sometimes that you have no control over, but I'm a firm believer that even though you mightn't have control over circumstances, situations, and events in your life, you have absolute control over how you manage them, over how you approach them, over how you think about them. And she say full-time entrepreneur, y'all. For y'all who just getting on, let me do a recap.
Yes.
This is Jasmine Berry, owner and founder of Spookieloos Consulting, who is now a full-time entrepreneur.
Hey, y'all. How's it going?
But what you did is you took lemons and you said, look, we say in the Bahamas, we call it switcher. We don't call it lemonade. We say switcher. You decided, let me make a good glass of switcher with what life.
Put a little vodka in there or something. Gotta spice it up.
Or some gin, like give you a Tom Collins.
Yes, okay. You got a limoncello, lemon drop.
Lemon drop. That's one of my daughter's favorite drinks, lemon drop. No, but it's so true. And when you allow yourself the opportunity to tap into the power within. So, clients who find me often say, I prayed and you showed up. I can't remember if you were one of the clients who told me that, but clients often say, I prayed and you showed up. So I had a consultation call with someone who was coming on as a client earlier today. And, she's amazing. She's this amazing individual. And so for those of you who don't know, I'm highly intuitive. I have a very powerful intuitive gift. So there's not a lot you got to tell them about that, Jazz.
Well, yeah, even our first 15 minutes of talking to each other, you were already kind of just, like, I had a whole lot to get off my chest. I had a whole lot going on at the time and a whole lot of figuring things out. And that's what I really needed help with. I just felt stuck. I felt like I just couldn't figure anything out. And that's what was making me, not make the moves that I needed to make and not be so, not be as confident as I am now in my business and in my life in general.
Yeah, and you were looking for clarity, and that's what my clients come to me looking for. But like I said, with this intuitive gift, which I didn't always embrace, because I was worried how people were going to think of it, because I grew up in the church, right? And there's a lot that they tell you in the church that you shouldn't be doing. But when I tapped into the fact that the spirit is within me and I'm in the spirit, I was like, okay, well, this gift really isn't about me. This is about everybody who the spirit allows to connect with me. And this young lady that I was talking to earlier, she's 33. And I'm finding, because you're in your late 20s, you
turned 28.
Just turned 28.
Yes.
And I'm finding that those are the clients who are coming to me now is like late 20s and early 30s, because that's, in your 30s, you're looking for clarity. That's the season. Right. I say it like this. And this is how spirit gave it to me, y'all. So if y'all want to be mad with spirit. When you in your 30s, you figuring out your shit. When you in your 20s, you full of shit. You taking on a whole bunch of stuff that don't matter. You getting consumed and concerned with everything that most of it don't have nothing to do with you. Most of it is program stuff that you trying to, just kind of, and you're sifting through. And when you get into your 30s, and you can enter into this period, you can start in the entering of this phase in the late 20s. It's about figuring out your shit, right? And we all need to figure out our shit, because, life can bring you a whole bunch of shit, or if you don't like the word shit, you could say stuff or crap. And 2020 for a lot of people, I hear a lot of people talking about how awful this year is. And this is not an awful year. This is just
it's definitely an eye-opener.
It's presenting you an opportunity to seek clarity. Because if you can't see clearly, then you're going to be stumbling and fumbling through your life, So alignment, I'm all about, now my whole thing is I'm #the alignment coach, because I realize how important alignment is. It's important in your body. It's important in your mind. It's important in your spirit. It's important in your emotions. You have a car. If your car gets out of alignment, that ride becomes very uncomfortable, very bumpy, very noisy, pulling to the left, pulling to the right, and you have to get it sorted out. In your life, if you feel like you're pulling to the left, pulling to the right, pulling down, you got to get it sorted out. And it's okay to ask for help. And, back to the young lady I was speaking to today, spirit just deposited into me how powerful and amazing she is, but that she needs to chill out in her life. And as women, talk a little bit about that, because we take on too much. And this is one of the things that we worked through and worked on, because you was taking on a whole bunch of other people's shit. So as comfortable as you are, talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about how we open up ourselves to all this crap, and we get to a place where we just need to offload. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I'm the type of person, I'm very solution oriented. When people come to me with a problem, I'm always ready to solve it. Let's get it done and let's move forward from it. I don't like, singing, and dwelling in my shit and, just thinking about it too much. And it got to the point even last year and this year as well, that even from close family members, just getting all of their crap, getting it. And it just drove me to the point where I'm just like, I can't take this anymore. And I felt bad because, it's close family, you can't throw them away and tell them to go on somewhere with that extra shit. But But you kind of have to. You kind of have to, because
Exactly.
it's literally taking it. It was taking over everything. The energy that I thought I had, was being replaced, fixing other people's issues and not saying no. And I've learned to really love that word, saying no, and just letting people know that I just don't have the time or the energy to dedicate, to what you have going on,
Mm.
and stopping what I'm doing because of the choices that you made, has nothing to do with me. And once I accepted that, and once I, fully embraced that, it may hurt the other person. They may not, want to deal with me anymore, but I'm good. My energy is conserved. I don't know what you got going on anymore, but I hope you fix your problem. But you can't, always come to me, expecting me to fix things, because I'm still working on myself. I'm still figuring things out. And I'm also trying to, better align myself with my business and with my life in general. I'm still trying to figure things out and make sure everything is in its place. And I don't want to lose my energy, myself, trying to fix other people's problems and opening myself up to negative energy and things like that. So it's crucial, especially at this point, as I'm elevating, as I'm getting better, with my business and figuring out how I want to live. I am realizing I don't want any of that crap in my life. Like, I love my peace, and I don't like it when people disturb it. And I will let people know, you have disturbed my peace, and
Yes.
you gotta go on somewhere now. You gotta do something. We gotta be distant.
Yes.
And once I learned that it's okay to draw those boundaries and let people know this is not what I'm trying to deal with, things got a little bit clearer and easier for me
Yeah.
to continue with my life.
Yeah, and that's
Mm-hmm.
so important, and that's one of the things that we really worked. We worked
Mm-hmm.
deep. We went to a deep
Yeah.
place with that, because I say, don't say yes to somebody else if it
Mm-hmm.
means that you're saying no to yourself. And one of the things that I teach my clients is not even necessarily to say no to other people, but to always be mindful to say yes to you, because if you say yes to someone else while saying no to yourself, you're dishonoring
Right.
yourself. And that never leads to a right place. It eventually leads to being resentful
Mm-hmm.
later on down the road. And, like you said, you can't help everybody. As a coach, I don't work with everybody. I learned this lesson quite some time ago, and I'm so grateful. Gratefully, I've only ever had to tell one client, don't ever call me back. And this
Mm.
was several years ago. But the truth is, you know, I won't say most people, but many people, they're absorbed in the story. They like the attention that the
Yeah.
story brings. But you got to understand, a lot of that attention is not even, it doesn't serve you. I'll say it that way because I don't
Mm-hmm.
like to use the terms good and bad, but it doesn't serve you. And we have to get to a place in our life where we identify what works for us
Right.
and also what doesn't. Also,
Exactly.
what doesn't. Because in that, you give yourself the opportunity to really align with the divine aspect of who you are. And, with women right now, we are coming into our own in a way that, I'll say it this way, that we haven't necessarily embraced before. Because as women, we've been conditioned to be everything for everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
but not for ourselves. But we are coming
Exactly.
into a place now where it's like, this
Yeah.
shit don't work for me no more.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about your coming into alignment with that for you.
Well, even just societal factors that I always hear, when are you going to get married, or, when are you going to have children, and all of those different boxes people have for us, especially at this age. I keep getting asked when I'm going to have kids and if I have children. And I honestly just laugh. And then I tell them, no, I don't have children. I'm not ready for that part of my life right now. Which leads me to say that there's still so much life that I want to live. There's so many things that I want to do without being confined to anybody or anything right now. I guess you could call it settling, or, slowing down or whatnot. But
Hmm.
I just find myself right now truly wanting to live for me and for Jasmine, and preparing, whatever my future may hold. I've never been a person to accept limitations, especially, by other people who think, they have me figured out, or think they have my life figured out, and think they have it planned for me. And I used to be really, or I guess would reject that type of thinking, oh, I'm too much of a rebel, or I'm too much of a, an outsider or whatnot. And I've just really come to terms with that. It's truly okay to be that way and to think that way. At the end of the day, I'm the one living this life. I'm the one doing the work. I'm the one day in and day out dealing with me, unless, somebody's just all up in my face every day. But nobody's not, no one's in my face like that every day. And so once I came to terms with who I am and comfortable in that type of thinking, and that way of living life, it just became a little bit easier, to align myself with things that I want to do. Like, for instance, I have more time to work out, and to focus on my health ever since COVID pretty much shut everything down. I have more time to really do the things that I want to do, and, figure out newer things that I want to do, and really figure out and plan out my life. So,
and I'm so happy for you that you discovered that at this young age, because, and I think it's because, just things have shifted as far as the divine feminine is concerned. So I'm like, high five. Yes. Come on, sister. When I hear young women saying that, because you said something, you said the boxes that others have for us, right? And as women, we have to really understand that we get to choose. And that's what has happened. Like, society, culture, family has tried to put us in these boxes, and have put us in these boxes, but we have to take responsibility for having allowed it. Hey, Z Zohab, we have to take responsibility for having allowed it, because if I own that I created it, then I can give myself permission to disown it as well. And, as women, we're expected to do all of these things, because I swear to you, girl, listen, I was thinking, I think it was yesterday, about the things that women go through. Physically, the things that we feel like we got to do physically, like go buy the dye your hair if it's turning gray. They putting Botox in, they putting makeup on, putting weave, spending hours in the salon. It's like too much. And I'm like, why did we ever sign up for all of this shit? I mean, if you're doing it because you want to, then it's fine. But the young lady I was telling you I was talking to earlier, who's coming on as a new client, we were talking about bras.
Oh, Lord. I haven't worn one in a while.
And listen, she was saying how her mother tells her, you got to put on a bra, and she don't want to wear a bra. And I told her, I said, lately, I even hate to put on a bra. I will go out and not wear a bra now, and not even worry about it. But I used to sleep in bras. I always felt like I had to have bras on all the time. But why? Why did we buy into the fact that we got to even put our breasts in something to hold them up? Like, who thought of that? Where did that come from?
Some crazy man.
But giving yourself permission to discard the labels. But that was one of the things, for me personally, growing up in religion, there was so many boxes and so many restrictions that even as a child never made sense to me. It never aligned with me. But again, you have all this conditioning, and all this programming outside of you. Right. And, 95% of what we think, 95% of what we believe is not even our own thoughts. It's coming through conditioning. It's coming through programming. It's coming through what we've been taught and what we've heard from other people. So when you start seeking clarity for yourself, sometimes, more often than not, it requires you to unlearn everything that you think you know about life, about you, about what you want, about what you don't want. I see you shaking your head. Let's see what Vernetta said. Vernetta said, I don't have enough to care to wear a bra most days outside the home. I always envy little busts people. But you know, Jazz,
Yeah.
me and you, we ain't got little bus,
No,
right? But
I got a good rack over here, but
me too, girl. But I'm giving myself permission now to let the
yeah.
girls be free.
I'm not wearing one today. I'm like, I'm in the house. Like, leave me alone. Let me be free, please, please. Just let me be
I
free.
know, but what do you have to say? You know, talk to our audience about that. You know, like when it came to your journey with clarity and alignment, and you know, realizing because that is one of the things that we talked about. You know, and again, it's all this programming. We all deal
Hmm.
with it. But talk about giving yourself permission to be what resonates with you.
Well, it honestly all started out with unlearning a lot of things that I was already conditioned to, like you had mentioned before. Um, I wasn't always very, I mean, I was confident, but not always very confident. Would kind of like teeter totter around the idea of owning a business and not fully going for it. And I do feel like this year was just like the kick off the ledge for me. God was just like,
Mm,
okay, girl, just go on, please, just please just do it already. I feel like that's what he's been trying to tell me, for the longest. And even though I have, no idea where I'm going to end up or how this is going to, look in 5 years, I finally have the courage and the strength and the support around me to just do it. And I don't want to ever live with regret. I never want to look back and, say, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have actually put the effort and the time and the commitment into this business and into just living the life that I want. And I grew up with a lot of fear, and so I still, battle with that, worrying all the time. And there, some days I literally have to just snap myself out of it and just tell
mm-hmm.
myself to chill out. What are you even worrying about? Why are you even thinking of problems that aren't even there? And I did that a lot. And
Yeah.
I'm still having to unlearn that. I'm still having to ask myself, is this even happening? Why are you even thinking about it? Why are you even worrying about tomorrow? Tomorrow's not even here.
That's right.
Just literally live, do what you got to do today. And if you're, blessed with another day, do it again, but do it better. And that's
Yes.
just kind of how I'm thinking right now. Just do all that you can, be the best that you can today,
Yes.
and keep on
Yes.
adding to that the next day.
Yes. And I love that term that the wording, kick off the ledge,
Yeah.
right? And the thing is, the place of worry and doubt is in the past or in the future.
Hmm.
If you think about right now in this very moment, right now at what time is it? 5:02 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon, the 1st of September. You have everything that you want and everything that you need right now in this moment. Worry, unrest resides in the future or it resides in the past. And, it doesn't matter what's going to happen in 5 years. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter what's going to happen in your business in 5 years. All that matters is what you decide you want right now. And then you work towards it. Chadwick Boseman's life has completely blessed
Mm.
me this past week. He was so young and was diagnosed with this condition 4 years ago. And look at everything that he contributed, everything that he accomplished
He
in that
truly
four
lived his
years.
purpose. Yeah.
He lived his purpose and he lived his life. He
Hmm.
didn't live his life worrying about dying. He lived his life living, and he
Right.
lived his life with the intention that he would make a difference in whomever's life he had the opportunity to touch. And it's such a beautiful thing. I just give thanks for his soul because I don't think about death. I don't think about death like how other people think about death. None of us are here to stay.
Hmm.
We're all just passing through. What matters is that you make an impact, you make a difference, and you inspire someone in whatever your arena is. That might be in your home with your family, that might be on your job, in your community, on a world scale, on a global scale, on a international scale, national scale, community scale, whatever it is that you desire to do. Give yourself permission. One, to desire it.
Hmm.
And two, to deserve it, because that's the issue with a lot of women. We've been ingrained with insecurities. We've been
Hmm.
ingrained with we're not good enough stuff, based on usually what a man has said. My stuff was my father, My father rejected me a lot, made me feel like I wasn't worth shit. And one day I just decided I'm all that in a bag of sour cream and onion potato chips, and who don't like sour cream and
Amen.
onion could keep on passing.
Yes, absolutely.
And you have given yourself permission to do that too. I am so proud of you.
Thank
And
you.
it's so beautiful watching your beautiful light, because you are beautiful on the
Oh,
inside and on the outside. So I want you to tell people again, hey, Forward Upward, hey, Ariel's World, how they can
yeah.
find you, what it is that you can offer to people, how you can help them in the space where they are. Tell them that before we go.
Yes. So thank you all to those who joined on. Hello to everyone. I'm Jasmine Berry. I am a social media marketing manager, owner, and CEO of Spookieloos Consulting. And my website is spookieloosconsulting.com. I can put that in the comments for you guys if you want to go ahead and head to that website. You can find me here on Instagram at Spookieloos Consulting, and also on Facebook as well. I am just truly overjoyed, to have talked with Danica again. I just love talking to her. She always just fills me up and really kind of gets me back on track, especially, once I go or start getting to that dark area, where I'm just like doubting myself and being fearful. And I'm just truly grateful, to have you in my life.
Oh, and I'm so grateful that you open up your heart and your soul space to me. And I'm Danica Carruthers. I am the alignment coach, and I will help you to align with the greatest, highest, and happiest aspect of who you are, because that's what I'm pushing these days. Happiness and joy, because like you said earlier, peace is priceless, and we all deserve peace, but peace is something that we need to pursue. Peace is something that we need to go hard after. So, if you're in a place in your life right now where you know that you're called to be more, to do more, and to have more, and you don't quite know how to make the steps towards making that happen, and you need some clarity, and you want to align with the divine greatest aspect of who you are, then reach out to me. You can find me. My website is danicacarruthers.com. I'm on Instagram, Danica Carruthers. I'm on Facebook, Danica Carruthers across the board. Jazz, we will continue to be connected, as you already know. Jazz. I got you in my phone. You got me in yours.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for coming in and having this conversation. And I'm trusting that people who are seeking clarity right now, who are in a place in their life right now where things aren't quite working and they know they need to figure some things out, will, reach out, feel free to DM Jazz and ask her about her journey, and ask her some inside information about me if you want to do that. But her review is on my website.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's a long one too. I think it's pretty long.
I appreciate you so much, and appreciate just seeing you step into this greatness that you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I really do.
So love and light to everybody. Sending you much love, peace, and blessings. And
bye, everyone.
I'll be back on live this week. And again, follow Jasmine at Spookieloos, and she typed it in there. Spooky, SPO, spooky like the ghost, but she's a Spookieloos. It's such a cute name, Spookieloos Consulting. Follow her on Facebook. All right, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye.